Hi Tanya, thanks for joining the Q&A session. I'm
Thank
sure
you
a
so
lot of
much.
parents and students are looking forward to kind of hear from you. So I have a couple of questions that I've kind of framed, and we'll go through those questions one by one. Okay. So firstly, now that you have completed grade 8, how do you feel about finally getting done with your final grade exams and also getting a distinction for that?
So I'm feeling really overjoyed that I've gotten a distinction in piano. So ever since I was 10 years old, I've been dreaming to get this grade 8 distinction, and getting a 92 out of 100 is something that I did not even expect. So I'm feeling really proud of myself, and I'll be further working on my piano skills.
Great, that's great to hear. How did your family and friends react when they heard about your results?
So actually, first, my parents are the first ones to see my results. My results actually came at the middle of the night while I was sleeping. So my parents saw the results and they were really happy and shocked. They also didn't know I would get a 92 out of 100. I suddenly started getting so many notifications. I opened my phone and checked and saw so many congratulation messages. Then only I realized my results were out, and I was so happy to see them. It's all because of my parents that I've reached this far. It's all because of their of efforts, and because of their initiative that I've reached until a grade 8. So when I showed my results to my friends, they were really happy because they saw me playing the piano ever since I was playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star with one finger to playing such complex pieces. They were really excited and happy to know about my results.
Great, that's great to hear. Right. So Tanya, since you mentioned that you've been learning for a while, so could you tell us about your journey? When you actually started learning, and what prompted you to start learning the piano.
So my actual journey of playing the piano, to be exact, it started when I was 10 years old, when I was in fifth grade. But then, if you see, when I first came to know about the piano or keyboard, and when I first played the keyboard was when I was around 6 years old. So when I was 6 years old in first grade, I joined this piano class keyboard class at my school, because there was an option for keyboard or drums. So there, we although it was not a very serious class and we were just playing nursery rhymes and all those stuff, I realized that I was picking up the instrument better than most, and I was finding an interest towards the instrument. So I even performed at my school a bit, although it was just those one finger pieces. I found the instrument very fascinating. So after that, in my second grade, all this was discontinued, and I had forgotten about keyboard for almost 3 to 4 years. And then when I was in fifth grade, when my parents asked me to join an extracurricular activity, I chose keyboard. So my parents found a keyboard tutor who would come home and teach, but he told me that I shouldn't be like piano would be a better option for me rather than keyboard. So that's when I started playing the piano, and since then I've had a 7 year journey of piano to reach grade 8. And I have to agree, the initial years were hard, but it was all worth it.
Great, but and it's also great to hear that you completed your 8 grades in 7 years. So that's also another great thing. So anyway, so now with Encore, you have completed 3 years, right? Almost 3 years you have completed. So how would you say you have grown as a musician uh, from the time you started classes with Encore?
So I joined Encore when I was in my ninth grade, which was in 2020 during the COVID lockdown time, because my tutor could not come home and teach me. So one thing that at Encore I found very different, and what made me a better musician, was that at Encore it was not just playing the pieces as it was written in the sheet music. It was not just clicking those keys. I learned that each note has a meaning behind it, and that there's a significant reason why each note is placed the way it is. And also I used to have a wrist problem, so it was all because of my posture. And at Encore I realized that my posture is a very important thing while playing the piano. So here there was more importance given to my posture, to my hand posture, my entire uh, body posture while I'm playing the piano. So it actually reduced my stress given to my wrist, and I'm really thankful for that. Also here there was more attention given to oral tests, so it improved my oral skills. Moreover, here I was told about how to interpret the music, and in that section in my piano grade 8, where I scored 10 out of 10, was in about the music interpretation, that part. So I would say that it's all because of Siddharth sir, because he taught me how to interpret the music in the right manner. And he told me that you don't have to follow the score the way it is presented, and some certain elements can be added by yourself, and that's what helped me gain this much marks.
Great, nice to hear that. So, Tanya, for people who are just starting out and getting into piano and or any instrument for that matter, what would your practice routine look like? So during an exam preparation, just so that they have an idea of what work goes in. How does your practice routine look like when you're preparing for an exam, and otherwise in general when you're just working on the regular course?
So as I'm actually in my high school, so I found a little fluctuations in my practice routine. So during this lockdown time in COVID, I had a lot of free time because there was no travel time to school, and during those breaks during my online classes, I could play the piano. So I used to have around 2 hours of practice per day, and sometimes if I had extra time, I would cross that. So when I was closer to the exam time, I still like closer to the piano exam time, I could still just maintain it at 2 hours and get the results I wanted, because 2 hours was more than enough to prepare me for the exam. Whereas when I entered my 11th grade, and that time the lockdown had got over and I was going for offline school, that time I found it difficult to maintain my practice schedule. So I used to only do around 45 minutes. Although I used to do around only 45 minutes to 1.5 hour, I used to make sure that I was fully concentrated only on playing the exam pieces and not wandering off by looking at other videos of other pianists and all that. So that way I was able to maintain my piano practice. And I had scheduled my piano grade 8 exam in such a way that it won't interfere with my board exams. So after my board exams got over, I was able to spend around 2 hours a day for piano, and that helped me prepare for the exam.
Great, great. So it's quality over quantity. That's what helped. Right. So, something related to this, since you joined Encore when you were in your ninth grade, and then these are all core years of your academic life. So, how do you manage your academic studies and your piano studies? And especially, you had a board exam also in between. So, how did you kind of manage both at the same time?
So actually, I'm studying in the Cambridge board. So we have two board exams, and so I had one in 10th and one in 11th. My 12th exam will be this year. So as I mentioned earlier, in my 10th grade, it was lockdown time, so I had a lot of time to practice. So there was no interference between my piano practice and studies. In fact, piano is actually helping me with my studies because it improved my concentration. It also helped me build up my memory. So also in between my study sessions, if I played the piano, it would be like a time where I would forget about everything else, and it would just be me and the piano. So it was a very relaxing time for me. But then when I reached my 11th grade, things became harder because studies became tougher, and I had to put in more effort into studying. So I would have to definitely spend around 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day studying only. So that time my piano practice went for a toss. So I had to somehow maintain my practice routine in a way that I will consume only less time, but then it would be um, more of a quality session. So I would be completely focused, no distractions. So that actually helped me out. Plus, I'm right now ranked two in my school, so I would say that it did not interfere with my studies at all. So piano actually helped me with my studies.
Great. Anyway, congrats on your academic achievements as well. Also, I believe you have some other extracurricular qualification that you got recently in karate.
Yes, so I'm actually a national level karate champion in my like the style of the karate I'm doing, and also thanks to Encore, I've completed my grade 4 theory in music also, and I also attended my black belt exam last week, so I will be getting my black belt soon.
Oh, great. So you're on a roll. Right. Cool. All right. So, so speaking of academics, what value does a grade 8 music certificate hold in terms of your higher studies application and things like that?
So one thing I realized was that if I'm applying to UK colleges, there is this system known as UCAS tariff points. So this is a point-based system for all the certifications that I get at higher levels. Under that, piano grade 6, 7, 8 comes. So I've completed grade 8, and for grade 8, with a distinction, I will get 30 points, which is actually worth more than my 11th board exams, because my 11th board exams are only worth 20 points, whereas piano is worth 30 points. So it's adding much more value to my university applications. So I am really happy about that. And apart from UK, also I've noticed that in other colleges across Europe and even in US and all other countries, uh, there's more weightage given to those who have done an extracurricular or a co-curricular activity at a higher level, which I have done. So grade 8 piano comes under that. So it's going to give me a lot of advantage in my future applications.
Great. That's great to hear. So, coming to practicing again. So, for most children who start out music or any instrument for that matter, the main challenge is kind of getting into that practice routine, right? And practice is not always such an enjoyable activity. So, how was your practicing scene during your initial years when you started out your instrument?
So, to be honest, I dreaded those practice sessions during my initial years. It was really boring and I didn't really like it. I feel sorry for my teacher at that time actually, because I did not like piano during those initial years. It was just basically scales and those simple melodies. It didn't feel that great. But then as I progressed and I maintained my schedule, it's all thanks to my parents, because they made me sit for an hour and do piano. It automatically became a routine for me. So after school, I would just come and I would play piano without thinking about anything else. And that way, I built up a schedule. And during my initial years, for those two difficult years, things went fine. Although I did not like it at all, I told my parents I'll be leaving piano once I finish my grade one. Once I reached my grade one, the second year, those Trinity pieces itself was so fun to learn, and I found those very interesting. So it felt more complex, and I could show off to people saying that I can play the piano. It started feeling good, and from then onwards, I started spending even more time on the piano. That way, I started feeling attached to my piano. I would practice for longer hours. I would, if not practice, I would play my favorite songs. All that helped me build myself as a pianist.
Okay. So now that you're at this stage, what are your plans in your musical journey? What do you see in store happening? Which direction do you want? Are you thinking of going?
So, actually, my aim is to complete a diploma in piano. So, uh, although I'll be taking it slow this year because my 12th exams are a little bit harder than my 11th, so I'm finding it difficult to maintain my piano practice schedule. I will be taking things slow during my grade 12, and once my 12th grade is over, I will be focusing more on diploma and start my diploma practice. And I will aim to complete my diploma by the time I finish my undergraduate. So that is my aim for diploma piano. Whereas I'm also thinking of applying to a minor course in music. So along with my economics or this, BBA, I'll be doing piano as a minor course if the university I go to has that option.
Great, great. All right. So, lastly, what advice would you want to give, fellow students and their parents who are with Encore?
So, firstly, I would like to advise those students who are currently in their initial years. I would like to tell them that they should keep up their hard work and not give up on piano, because those first 2 years are definitely going to be hard, but after that, it's going to be really fun. So, you should always keep your focus, because one day you'll be at grade 8, or you might have finished your diploma and you'll be really proud of yourself. And I would also like to tell to those students who are right now in their high school or going to their high school, that please don't give up on your extracurricular activities, because for example piano does not even interfere with your schedule. So for me it didn't. So with efficient time management, it's really possible to continue your extracurriculars like piano further without any interference with your studies. And I would also like to advise to those parents that um, piano is not going to bother anyone's studies, or it's not going to make someone lenient with their studies. So please support your children that they'll be able to manage piano with their other academies or any other sport or any other activity. So that's how I reached until here. It's thanks to my parents for being so supportive, and I've also put a lot of effort into it. So I'm sure that all of you will be able to reach this level.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, yeah. So that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for spending time, right? And I wish you the best. And I hope to, see you complete your diploma and other higher levels in music, and of course the other things that you're pursuing as well, right? Yeah.
Yes, so I would also like to actually thank Siddharth sir a lot, because he has helped me reach so far, and he has helped me build up so much as a musician. So I would really like to thank Siddharth sir.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Okay. See you then, Tanya. Bye.
Thank you, sir.